Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to DCS, and welcome back to another F-15E Strike Eagle tutorial. Today we're going to be looking at the unofficial deployment of CDIP bombs, CDIP. The way that I do it, which is definitely not the correct way, but it's a very easy to learn way. The F-15 is a little bit more in-depth with your unguided bombs as compared to the F-16 or F-18. So we're going to look at my method, and then at some point in a different video later on down the road, we'll actually probably look at the proper setup method, and I'll talk a little bit through the steps that I'm augmenting or entirely skipping in some places to do what I'm doing. But we'll go ahead, hop in the cockpit, get set up on the ground first, get airborne, and then splash some targets. Let's begin. Alrighty then, nestled into the Eagle, we're actually going to hop into the rear cockpit first. And we're going to set up a couple things back here. I'll cover some of the things that you would normally want to set up, as well as what we're going to need to set up for today. Real quick, there we go. So first up on our lower left-hand side, it looks like we're actually already configured because I did a hot startup. But you're going to want to make sure that your countermeasure dispenser is on and set to the mode that you want with the countermeasure type that you want selected. If you were doing a multi-crew, you'd want ICS on. You want these three guys in automatic. And then obviously adjust any of your console lighting as needed. I think we already have oxygen on. We do. Seats already armed. That is good. Again, we'll set ICS to auto. RWR can go to combat. The targeting pod can come on, and I think that is it for the back seat. So we'll go back up to the front, and we're going to do the same thing for our targeting pod in case it's not already set. Where are you, targeting pod? Train falling radar altimeter. Formation lights. I can't find it. There's definitely a spot for it. Is it on the left side or right side, rather? I think it was. Okay. I swear there was a spot for the teapot up front. I know there's a spot for the teapot up front. I'm just not seeing it right now. Sensor. Nav flare. There it is. On. Perfect. Then, that's all set up. We'll go to nav mode first and foremost, because we want to get to the waypoint we're going to. It's just beyond there. And while we're on the ground here, you can do this in the air, should you so choose, but we'll do it on the ground since we're just here. We'll go back to the main menu, and then we're going to go to the armament page, and we're going to set up for air to ground. And this is a non-skippable, unfortunately, so you're going to have to know a little bit about the target that you're engaging and that sort of thing, which if you have a Wizzo or whatever the Air Force equivalent is in the back, that shouldn't be a problem. So you can select one of your two munitions here. We've got standard Mark 82s, and then I don't know what is SE? Is that the Snake Eye? Yeah, we got Snake Eyes on the left, normal Mark 82s on the right. So we'll select the normal Mark 82s first, and we're going to want to launch in sit-up. So these are the options on the bottom. So you have the option for sit-up and auto. We're going to be doing sit-up today. If you were doing automatic, you would have to set basically a SPI. Think of like the A-10C, that wedding cake, that upside-down wedding cake. I guess it's just a normal wedding cake. For like your wingman or something, or if you wanted to slew the targeting pod to that, that is what you'd have to do. Think of it almost as a CCRP type bombing in like the F-16. But we're doing sit-up, or CDIP, which is very similar to CCIP. And then we have an additional set of options. We can do one per station, so essentially one bomb per pass. I'm not entirely sure what the step functionality is. I've not used that yet. And then you've got ripple single, ripple multiple. So let's say I want to do a single ripple pair. Then we go into the quantity that we're dropping and the interval in which we're dropping them. So if I want to drop, let's say, 2 bombs covering 50 feet. Let's do 70 feet. Then that is that program set, and then we need to finally, on that bottom, we still have more options for the ornament. Do we want nose tail or nose tail? I'm going to select nose tail, and now we should be good to drop. The normal way you would be able to tell is if you went into is it air to ground mode? What do I use? There we go. There we go. Air to ground mode. So you can see we've got our bombing reticle. Obviously, it's not going to be calculating accurately right now because we're stationary on the ground. But as we go to take off here, which we'll do now, that will increase. So I'm going to go ahead and get airborne here. We've already gone over the takeoff process for the F-15, so if you're needing to know more about that, go and check out my video. But I'm going to get spooled off, taken off here, and we'll catch up with you guys once we're back on the range. Alrighty, coming up over our target AO now. You can see I've got, where are they? There they are, 3 rows of targets that we're going to be engaging today. We walked over the arming mode. Yeah, actually reset this. I had to reset the sim. It is worth noting, I'm fairly certain you can operate this aircraft either fully from the front or rear seat. Should you so choose. Obviously, you've got the flight controls up front, but you have a secondary set in the rear as well. So, this should apply for either situation. Let's go air to ground mode. And we'll turn on the master arm as well. Now, normally this is when your Wizzo, or if you're a skilled enough pilot, you would be slewing your targeting pod around to look for your targets on the ground down there. But we're going to be using a different method today. We are going to be using the bomb reticle as our targeting point. So you can see I drew waypoint 1 dead smack dab in the center of those guys. Let's come right just a little bit more. Perfect. So I'm going to pause here and explain some of our symbology on the HUD. So we've already talked about the bomb reticle, and that is tied to our velocity vector indicator, flight path marker, pipper, whatever you want to call it. On the right-hand side, you have this 3224T rel, and that is your time to release. Then once we have weapons off of the racks, that'll change to a time to impact. I think it's TIMPCT, basic. It's a TTI. You have your mode. So in this case, we're doing sit-up. SysG, I'm not entirely certain, and I'm not sure about the 2 bottom most. The rest is just flight information. You've got obviously your altitude, your pitch ladder, airspeed, your angle of attack, and your current G load. So we're going to fly that pipper onto our target, and I'm going to tap the weapon release button. And now you can see, 1, our targeting pod is automatically slewed to there, and our time to release is updated. So if I wanted to release on there, I would put our pipper directly over where we just made a target, and then press and hold the release button. And then the airplane will do the rest. So let's do that. So here's TTI, time to impact. I think those are short. Oh no, okay, we got one. Now let's switch to the Mark 82 Snake Eyes. Do a range of 150 feet this time around. And now that we have a target on our T-pod, we can actually move the targeting pod around to our next target set, which is going to be, oh, I got set my DDI to space. Actually, let's run through the controls here real quick, what I'm doing in the background here. So I've got these guys is what I was using to castle switch, which is what I have them assigned to. So going left, press and hold left will select your left side screen, press and hold right will select your right side screen. So if you got radars, targeting pods, all that sort of stuff that you need to physically slew around, you can do that with those guys. Obviously, your weapon release is whatever you want. Right alt plus space normally. We might use a little bit of gun action. That's going to be just your normal space bar. Trying to think what else outside of normal flight. That's probably it. And then I have my TDC slew set to an axis. So that's these guys here. So that should be it. The rest, I believe, is going to be done on UFC or clickable buttons. So anyway, that is now set to a... I realized as soon as I did that, I have another button that I changed. So the other button we're going to be using is the press button for the TDC switch. I don't have any other TDCs. What? Oh, okay. I've got Coolie switches. I don't have TDCs loaded. Oh, because I don't need them because I got my little... Yeah, okay. Don't need it. So, anyway. We'll get turned around for another pass. You can see we got 2.9 miles to the target. Actually, the T-pod has unslewed for whatever reason. That's fine, we're doing my method today. So we're gonna fly the old bomb pipper on to right around there. Quick press to put us back into TDC targeting mode. I think I just dropped bombs. I did. I think I just messed that up. Targeting pod will tell us. A little bit far. But yeah, I released 2 sets there, so I don't know if you caught that or not, but nonetheless, we did hit him. We'll switch back to the Mark 82s, and I want to do a multiple ripple set for this final pair. We're going to do 2 sets along that right-hand side trucks. We'll drop our last snake eyes wherever they are needed, and then polish off whatever's left with guns. Again, not the most effective means of deploying your munitions, but in a pinch it does work. Here's our trucks. Fly the bomb reticle onto them. And release. And release. Oh, we missed the explosions. But that's a pretty good shack on most of them. That was only 3 3 of them. So we got a couple more Mark 82s. We'll come around for another pass, do the exact same thing. A little bit more combat effective here, a little bit less talkative. It looks like they've dispersed a little bit. No matter. Just next to him. So you get the general gist of it. Like I said, it's going to be, I don't know how many times I've said that, but it's for emphasis. You're going to be much more combat effective doing this with auto mode, using the targeting pod to designate your targets. But I'm just one guy. I know A-10 pilots do it. Although I will say the CCIP mode in the A-10 is actually pretty good. The default. Drop one on this guy here. One set on this guy here, I should say. Then after that, we'll go back to one release. This last one, and we'll do a low-level altitude smackdown. Trying to see if we got that guy. He did. Alright, so we're going to come out quite a ways here. Get some speed under our wings, shooting for about 500, 550 knots. Super low altitude. This is a snake eye release we're going to do on, I think, that last guy in the middle there. Prime candidate. And the rest will buzz off with guns.
Over G, over G, over G, over G.
Shut up. Mach 0.99. Let's get a high-speed flyby. Oh, and DCS froze. Okay. Alright, full burners. Fuel state good. Now supersonic. Release.
Low altitude, low altitude.
I don't think that did anything. Oh yeah, it didn't come off. Time to arm 2 seconds. Okay. We can do 2 seconds.
Over G, over G. Pull up. Over G. Over G, over G.
Well, we did not shack them all with our bombs, which means we get to use our static gun cross. I'm imagining the F-15 has a CCIP mode for ground shooting. I just don't know how to do it yet, so we're going to use our gun cross and some less than intelligent ranging on my part to hopefully splash some of these guys with the remaining ammunition that we have.
Pull up.
It hits.
Pull up, pull up, pull up.
He's on fire. Fuel states 8,000. Was it 8,000 or 800? Yeah, 8,000. It's actually 8,400. Obviously, just like when you're using a real firearm, this is a very real firearm. It's just big ranges, so the further your slant angle, or the less your slant angle, the better and more accurate that gun cross is going to be. So a more vertical azimuth is going to yield you better results in most cases. But it's obviously not always an option.
Pull up, pull up, pull up, pull up.
It's a dead target.
Pull up, pull up, pull up, pull up.
Low altitude. Low altitude.
We'll get one more pass in. And then I think we'll call it good. Who's still alive down there? We'll go for the smoking guy.
Pull up, pull up, pull up, pull up.
He's burning.
Pull up, pull up, pull up, pull up.
Low altitude. Low altitude.
I am out of countermeasures. Chaff and flare at minimum. I'll tell you what, spend just a few hours behind the controls of this and it becomes very, very, very nice to fly, at least from a non-ACM standpoint. We'll get into ACM in a different video, as this is not the F-15E's dominant role, ACM, but I bet you it's darn good at it, considering the F-15C's track record.
Over G. Over G. Over G. Over G.
Where's my cross? Okay, well, that's not going to work. What is... Let's pause here. What's even still alive down there? So you're burned out, you're bombed out, you're burned out. These guys in the middle are still alive. All of these guys are valuable options except for you. Aim for the center. Okay. It's because I know I'm running out of guns. Okay, I know I said it before, but it's just too much fun flying. This will be our last pass. And then we'll RTB. Plenty of fuel still on board. Come on, Eagle. You can handle it. You can do it.
Pull up, pull up, pull up.
We're dead!
Low altitude.
And that, without fail, that is air-to-ground bombing on the F-15E. I told you it was going to be our last pass. I just didn't know how. Air-to-ground bombing. We'll call it the sample method. Definitely not the most effective. But in a pinch, if you're just trying to do rapid reaction casts to an emergency call-in or something like that, then it'll hopefully get you out of there in a pinch. So we'll leave this smoldering wreck behind and move on to another video. So that's going to be the end for this one. Thank you guys very much for watching. I do appreciate it, and I will see you in the next one. As always, take it easy.